The year 2017 is now over and 2018 has just begun. Here are the top 5 games that we're looking forward to in this year, not necessarily in any order, apart from the last one. That's the one we want the most. So let's get the big one out of the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game that we've been salivating for since this generation began. It's strange to realize that GTA 5 is not an exclusive game for this generation, having previously started life on the PS3 and Xbox 360. One of the main reasons we're so excited for the game is because it's a new game from Rockstar. GTA 5 was released 5 years ago, and the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018 is the longest drought we've had for a Rockstar game by far. They had previously published a new game every year since 1997, but a lot has changed since then, with the establishment of loot boxes and in-game currency becoming a mainstay of AAA titles. We would rather Rockstar put a high price tag on the game and not have these cash grab shenanigans in it. But let's stay positive. Red Dead Redemption 2 is looking to be a prequel to Red Dead Redemption and focus on John Marston and the Dutch Gang. The original game was quite simply astounding, with a beautiful natural world that stood against the drab world of gray and concrete that consumed the early games of that generation. Adding in a great story with depth, pathos, and humor, Red Dead Redemption is gonna be a hard act to follow, but with Rockstar holding the reins, we're confident this is gonna be a game changer for the sandbox genre. The screenshots and trailer footage looks luscious and vibrant, and if the gameplay is just an extension of the first game, then we have no problem with this. However, if we don't get a PC release in 2018, we may add this to the biggest disappointment list at the end of the year. This one could be a bit of a wild card, but we're looking forward to the new SpiderMan game called, well, SpiderMan. The reason why we're excited is that from what we've seen, Spider-Man reminds us faintly of Spider-Man 2 on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Developed by Treyarch, the game loosely followed the film's plot with a few added baddies on the way. Regardless of the groundbreaking physics engine of the time, giving us swinging like we have never seen before, the sandbox environment of New York was actually fun, and doing side quests and missions felt rewarding as opposed to a checklist for trophies like modern games. Unfortunately, Spidey never got better with future games. Sure, the graphics and physics got better, but it just never had that je ne sais quoi. The game's development backstory feels like this could have been a launch title and is looking to be a traditional killer app in the console wars. The game is exclusively for PS4, published by Sony and developed by PlayStation's darling Insomniac Games, best known for Spyro and Ratchet & Clank. If anyone knows how to make a third-person game, it's them. And finally, the main antagonist is gonna be Mr. Negative, who's a very complex character and it might be best not to read up on his backstory. Let's just say that if the game executes the plot well, this could be a game changer for narratively focused games. It's funny how the synonym for difficult games has changed over the years, from Silver Surfer to Dark Souls. These games have broken many a controller, but one of the last generation kings is aiming to take back its mantle from the usurper that is Cuphead, Super Meat Boy Forever. Originally starting as a mobile port, the game has expanded to become a full fleshed out sequel featuring roguelike levels based on the player's skill level. We're doubtful that this means the game is going to be easier in the world of stiff competition to be the hardest game. It's probably going to be a house burner. From what we're seeing, it could be decried as merely extra levels, as the aesthetics and core gameplay don't seem to be changing, but really, do you care? Mario did it for his first 2 Japanese games and no one complained about that. Santa Monica Studio is coming back with a new God of War game, simply called God of War. The series is moving from Greek mythology to Norse mythology, or Spartans to Vikings. From statements by the devs and published material, the game is looking to be a completely new type of God of War. However, based on details from the plot, it is a sequel to the original games and will follow a more mature Kratos learning to deal with the rage and teaching his son. The narrative and changes to the gameplay appear to be working in harmony together. Just as Kratos has learned to control his rage, there will be less of a focus on the hack and slash kill everything approach. Gone are the iconic double chain blades, with the weapon of choice now being a battle axe. No more fixed camera angles with a third person over the shoulder throughout, and most interestingly, RPG elements with points to improve skills. Santa Monica made a big change to the industry with a violently cinematic God of War. We're relatively confident that they can take the franchise to a more mature tone, but still be fun.
Abandon hope, all ye charlatans of horror games. Begone, Five Nights at Freddy's. Avert your rise, Resident Evil, and you too, Silent Hill. Yes, you too, my sweet, sweet Silent Hill. The author of the Necronomicon is back. Big Daddy H.P. Lovecraft is coming home.
It's been over 17 years since the last true H.P. Lovecraft game. Cult favorite Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth, based on the Escape from Innsmouth module from the Call of Cthulhu RPG game. Call of Cthulhu, the official video game, is the game that we're most excited for in 2018. Why? Well, first off, like most fans of horror, we are massive Lovecraft fans. The psychological dread that is weaved into At the Mountains of Madness, Shadow over Innsmouth, and the Dunwich horror has influenced creatives across films, musics, and books for decades now, and also games like Amnesia, Darkest Dungeon, and many more. This new game is going to be a slight adaptation of the famous short story The Call of Cthulhu, but more importantly based on the Call of Cthulhu RPG, which we absolutely love. Why? Because unlike traditional pen and paper RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, it's not about winning or being a hero, it's about surviving. Developer Cyanide may seem like an odd pick if you just judge them on the pro cycling games, but they've had moments of brilliance with adapting Blood Bowl and slight disappointment in Game of Thrones. From the screenshots and trailers, it's clear that they have a full understanding of how to effectively adapt the source material, with the game being a detective stealth psychological horror. We're hoping this is going to be the game that contributes to the rising horror genre in video games. So those are our 5 games that we're most excited about in 2018. Let us know your picks in the comment section below, and please make sure to head over to AltChar.com for much more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and this is Sobriel, and see you in the next video.